So when it comes to audio, what is a DAC? Do I have one? Do I need one? In case I need one, then which one to get? And how much should I be willing to pay for it? We'll cover all this and much more in detail, and we're starting now. Hello YouTube, how are you going? This is Sounds Good and I'm Anuj. Sounds Good is a channel on which we discuss everything related to tech, hi-fi, music systems, two-channel stereo, multi-channel home theaters, and all such good stuff. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. So what is a DAC? A DAC is a digital to analog converter, or a D2A. All sound these days is stored in digital form. Digits, as you know, are binary, zeros and ones that are stored on your hard drive, that are stored on your memory card. Even if you're streaming through YouTube, Spotify, if you're in the US or Europe, maybe Tidal, Deezer, Qobuz, all of that music is stored digitally. Back in the day, music used to be stored analogous. Tapes, reel to reel, LPs or vinyls, depending on where you are and what do you call them. Well, they were all analogous ways of storing media. But these days, as we all know, it's all digital. So music is stored in zeros and ones. And you can't listen to zeros and ones. They can't produce music. That's just information being stored. These zeros and ones need to be converted to analogous voltage. Then that can be amplified by an amplifier and played by the speakers. So do you have a DAC? Yes, if you are able to listen to my voice right now, it could be your phone, your tablet, or your laptop, you have a DAC built in. For instance, look at this laptop. This laptop has a 3.5 mm port. If we have a look at this is the standard 3.5 mm to RCA cable. I go 3.5 mm out of the laptop. I connect these RCAs to an amplifier like this. This is a very small, economical, good value for money, small little desk amp, which I use for my desk rig or my study desk. So RCAs go into the amplifier. The amplifier is able to amplify the signal and drive the speakers, because speakers are mechanical devices. They need to be driven through amplified voltage. So here we are already using the DAC chip, which is built into this laptop. DAC chip manufacturers are, for example, Asahi Kasei Micro Devices, or AKM for short, ESS Sabre, very coveted high-end DACs, Texas Instruments, Wolfson. They're all DAC chip manufacturers. And whether it's your phone or your iPad or your laptop, they all have the DAC chip built inside of them, which does the digital to analogous conversion. So why do I need a separate DAC, you ask, if I have it built inside? Well, I hate to break it to you. The problem with these inbuilt DAC chips is that this laptop manufacturer, whether it's Apple or Lenovo or whatever have you, they don't care about the quality of sound that the device is putting out. They would rather invest the money in where it counts, whether it's the hard drive, whether it's the processing power, whether it's the screen resolution that these devices have. Those are the priority areas for these hardware manufacturers to invest into, and not high quality audio. Don't get me wrong, you listen to them, you enjoy it on your headphones, you enjoy it on your speaker system, they're functional, they get the job done, but they are not high quality. And that is why you need to care about it, because you are an audiophile, you are a hi-fi enthusiast. That's why you're sitting here and watching this video right now. Another problem with the inbuilt DAC chips into your phone, into your laptop, is that after those digits have been converted to analogous voltage, we don't want that signal to be anywhere in that device anymore. With all the processing, all the hard drive, all the motherboards, the CPU, it's a very noisy internals, and that electrical noise that resides inside these devices ends up polluting your analogous voltage or your music after conversion. That's where a separate DAC like this comes into play. So what we need to tell our laptop or our phone is to bypass your own internal DAC chip, give us digital out, we will convert it ourselves through a separate DAC. This particular one is the Schiit Modi. Yeah, that's the name of the company, Schiit. It's a US-based company. This is the Modi 2, the second version. Currently, the one that is going is Modi 3. It's a beautiful DAC. I love it. Schiit is not the only company that makes good DACs. There are several other. We will discuss those in detail. And by the way, it's not a sponsored video. Schiit doesn't pay me to say this, but I just genuinely love their products. Their products are great for beginner audiophiles. Very good value for money company. I generally like their attitude towards good audio. How do we tell the laptop not to do the conversion inside and give us digital out? That's where a cable like this comes into play. USB-A, which is the standard USB, to a USB-B. Usually you see these in printers and scanners. We plug the USB into the laptop, and the USB-B, that's what the Schiit accepts, goes into the Schiit. And rather than using our previous cable, which was 3.5 millimeter to RCA, we now use an RCA to RCA connection. So the reds and the whites go out of the Schiit and then into the amplifier. That's how this connection happens. So what happens once we do this? Any good, decent DAC manufacturer pays a lot of attention in various stages of a DAC. What are the various stages of a DAC? There is the input stage, which takes digital signal in. There is the power stage, which powers the DAC and all the internals of the DAC. Then there is the conversion stage, where D to A conversion happens. And then finally, there is the output stage, where we get analogous out. Thereafter, we can amplify it and send it to our speakers. So all that is good, but what is the sonic benefit of a DAC? Why do I need it? Or of an external DAC, I mean, and why do I need it? That the sound stage opens up. There is much better instrument separation. There is much better imaging. The bass gets tighter and punchier. The highs get more sparkly and more clear. So in each of the aspects, and by the way, in case you don't know any of these terms or do not fully understand any of these terms, I will link up my video, which is a beginner's guide to audiophile gear. Go and have a look at that. Therein, I have explained all of these music and sound related terms in much more detail. It was one of my first videos, so it can be very boring to watch. You've been warned. An external DAC gives you much better sound quality, and if you have half decent speaker system, you will see the benefit of an external DAC. I hear some of you ask, Anuj, all that is good. You showed us the 3.5 mm to RCA cable earlier, and you said that the signal has already been converted inside of the laptop to analogous. And then you showed us the USB cable, and then you mentioned this is how we get to bypass the laptop's internal DAC. But how do I know a particular signal path, a particular way of transferring the signal from one device to another, whether it's digital or it is analogous? The D2A conversion has already happened or is yet to happen. I'll make it very simple for you to understand this. So let's roll. 3.5 to RCA, RCA to RCA. It could be your in-ear monitors that also use 3.5 mm jack, a 1/4 inch jack. This is a mono, this is a stereo, main and neutral, left, right and neutral. All of these connections are analog. So if you're using any of these connections, the signal has already been converted from digital to analogous. Let's move on to digital. USB-A to USB-B, mini USB, micro USB, USB-C. So all of these USB connections are digital. If you're using a phone and you want to use an external DAC with your phone, you can use either a OTG cable, which is the on-the-go cable, the kind that you use to plug a thumb drive into your phone, or an adapter like this, which gives you micro USB, or in this case it's USB-C, to full-fledged USB, and then you can connect your DAC to your phone. So all these USB connections, all HDMI connections. Believe it or not, in case you weren't aware, there are various kind of HDMI connectors also. Micro HDMI, mini HDMI, the standard HDMI. So any of these USBs or HDMIs if you are connected with, then you are connected in the digital domain, and the conversion to analogous is yet to happen. Similarly, there is Toslink or SPDIF, Sony and Philips digital interface, a platform developed by Sony and Philips, or coaxial. These are all digital. Some of you may be wondering, all that is good, but Anuj, I don't have the space, I don't have the money to invest in a separate piece of equipment. I don't even have the bandwidth to be able to dedicate that kind of space. Or I just don't want the hassle and the complication of having so many separate components sitting in my music system. I have a pair of amplified speakers and I just plug in my phone into that. How can I get better quality sound? Don't worry, I have you covered even there. I will mention some of my personal favorite phones that, with my experience, I have seen to have good quality DAC circuits and DAC chips built in. They give good performance indeed. None of those manufacturers have sponsored this video. I'm not being paid to say this. This is completely my personal experience. So here we start. LG's G series usually has very good quality DAC chips built in. LG's V series also has good DACs. Samsung's S series and Note series, and iPhones. And in case you were to invest in a separate $30, $40, $50 DAC over these phones, you will not see much better improvement in performance. Beyond these phones, if you want to invest in a separate DAC and see performance improvement, you need to invest, at least in my opinion, $100 to $200. So that has you people covered who do not want to invest in a separate DAC or just can't have the hassle of all those connections and cables going around. For the rest of you who do not mind to invest in a separate DAC, do not mind the hassle of extra connections that come along with it, we start right now. How much do I need to invest? How expensive are these things? Well, real high-end DACs can go upwards of US dollars, $2,500, $8,000, $10,000, $15,000. So that's a whopping 8 to 10 lakhs. That's how much a high-end DAC can cost. ओ भाई, तू रहने दे. 8 लाख रुपए का DAC. अमेरिका नहीं है ये. कुछ और देख लेंगे हम YouTube पे. चलो भाई चलो. Anyways, I understand. All of us don't have that kind of money to spend or that kind of space to keep all the gadgets in. This channel, believe you me, is not about gas, which is gear acquisition syndrome. No. The purpose of this channel sounds good is to give beginner audiophiles. My mission on this channel is to give you ways, knowledge and methods that you can apply and get much better quality sound either from your existing gear or with minimal investment. That is the whole purpose of this channel. Hit like if you're getting value from this content. Finally, we move on to the segment that you've been waiting for. What are the good recommended DACs for budget audiophiles that I personally would recommend to you that you can bring home, and that will sit between your source device and amplification, and you are guaranteed to experience great improvements in sound quality. And don't worry, I'm not going to give you recommendations of a $8,000, $10,000 US dollar DAC. My recommended DACs are going to range between $100 US dollars, which is about 7,000, 7,500 rupees, to $600 US dollars, which is between 40 to 50,000 rupees, depending on where you're buying it and how you're getting it. My first and foremost recommendation will have to be Shit Modi. I've already been talking about it. Have recommended it to a lot of friends, and whoever has bought it has always had great things to say about it. Puts a lot of meat on the bone, makes the sound very warm, opens the sound stage up. Great value for money for just $100 US dollars. Also for $100 US dollars is AudioQuest's Dragonfly Black. Just looks like a little bigger than a thumb drive or a pen drive. You can plug it directly into your laptop, and out comes the analog from the other side through a 3.5mm jack. Taking a step up, there is the AudioQuest Dragonfly Red, which is for $200 US dollars, and then the AudioQuest Dragonfly Cobalt, which is for $300 US dollars. I have had personal experience with the black, which is the same price as the Schiit Modi. I personally like the sound of Schiit Modi much better, but the catch here is that this is not a mobile device. If you're an out and about kind of a person, then this is not what you can carry with you and plugged into your phone and cannot be listening to headphones with it. Whereas, because of the form factor of the Dragonfly series, it's highly mobile. You can be traveling, you can be running, you can be jogging and using a great quality DAC. So that's a big advantage that comes with the Dragonfly. Moving on from there, iFi is another great company that has iFi X DSD DAC, which retails for about $400. Taking a step above that is the Chord Mojo, great quality DAC for about $500. So we'll set you back about 35,000-40,000 rupees, again depending on which city you're buying it from in India. Then there is iFi Micro also. iFi Micro is $600. So I know now we are getting into the higher end or the middle end of DACs. So how much do I need to invest, you ask? Let me give you a great news. There is something known as the law of diminishing returns, particularly so with high-end audio. You need to actually invest very little money to get most of the advantage of the high-end audio. What do I mean by that? Even a $100 DAC is going to give you great improvement in the sound quality that you will be able to appreciate within your system. As you progress from there, go into more and more expensive DACs, there is going to be improvement for sure. It's going to give you, first of all, a better build quality, better sound quality. But is it going to be a much better improvement? I don't think so. It actually depends upon the kind of speakers that you're using, the kind of amplifiers that you're using. If it's anything less than $1,000, if it's anything less than $70,000 for the pair of speakers that you have, a $100 DAC will give you, I would argue, 90% of the results of a $600 DAC for your speaker system. I hope that clarifies it for you and makes the decision simple. Another thing you may ask would be, Anuj, all this applies to home theater also? 5.1 channel, 7.1 channel, or is it only applicable on 2-channel stereo? In case of multi-channel home theater, the digital to analog conversion happens inside of the AVR or the audio video receiver, the one that receives all the inputs from all the sources and gives output to the speakers and the television. We will cover AVR in much more detail in a separate episode, but for all practical purposes, these external DACs that we are discussing today apply to 2-channel stereo music playback. What more do you want me to cover? In case there is a component in a home theater or an audio setup that I first of all would like to know from you. What kind of content do you want me to create? So go down into the comment section and comment over there. And in case you are new here, write #new in the comment section and do subscribe. See you in the next one. This is me, Anuj. Sounds good.